Hi everyone, I'm Yashra, and welcome to the 31st episode of Election Scoop. And today we're going to be looking at the midterm reviews for the C states, California, Colorado, and Connecticut. I said initially we would do a 50-part series, but we don't have enough time until the elections to do that, so we're just going to lump them, and it's going to be a lot more efficient, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we start off with California and the Senate race, where incumbent Senator Dianne Feinstein is running for a fifth term against Senate leader Kevin De Leon. Now, what's interesting is both these candidates are members of the Democratic Party. The polls show Feinstein, the incumbent, with a comfortable lead over De Leon. Her average is 41%, his is 24%. So it goes without saying that this race is safe Democratic. Obviously, Republicans literally cannot win here because there are no Republicans in the race. But it's interesting to see a more fresh face to the federal politics scene square off against a longtime senator who is very high profile in the Senate, actually. Different is the race for California governor, where Gavin Newsom, the lieutenant governor and very liberal Democrat, is running against John Cox, a businessman who actually has no political experience. So Gavin Newsom is very famous in California. I mean, most people know him. He was mayor of San Francisco, now he's lieutenant governor, high-profile candidate, criticizer of Trump. John Cox, I mean, I'm a Californian. No one had ever heard of him before this election, and people really still don't know him well now. And so he is suffering in the polls, and this is a Democratic state, so he's at under a third of the vote. Gavin Newsom's at just under 50%. The rest are undecided. We can rate this race as safe Democrat. So what about the California House? Well, take a deep breath because there are 53 districts in California for the House. To break it down, we go from Safe R to Safe D. You know the drill. One race, the 49th district, is predicted to tilt Democratic, even though it is currently held by a Republican, so that the 49th right there with the asterisk beside it, we're predicting that as a pickup for the Democrats. And the other districts in yellow, the 10th, 25th, 39th, 45th, 48th, those are also held by Republicans, but they're toss-ups. So Democrats could win those, but we're not sure. It's possible that they won't. And then you have the likely Republican and some likely Democratic. And the most likely Democrats will gain between 1 and 6 seats. They could gain up to 10 if they get, the 4th, 50th. 50th actually is a high profile race because the incumbent has been accused of many crimes, but did not drop out of the race. So, anyway, gains for Democrats, very important to taking back the House. Colorado now. Colorado's governor's race is heating up to be quite something. Colorado is a swing state that leans Democratic, kind of like Virginia or Nevada. So you have Jared Polis, congressman, one of the first open LGBT congressmen, running for governor against the Republican state treasurer Walker Stapleton. And Polis has an okay lead over Stapleton, 47 to Stapleton's 40. And so we rate this race as lean Democrat, even though there is room for Stapleton to make up his deficit in the polls. For the House, things are much simpler than California. We have one district, the 6th district, that is held by a Republican, but that is likely to switch sides. And then we have the 3rd district, which could switch sides, but it's highly unlikely. And so the probable outcome is Democrats will gain 1 seat. They could gain 2, or they could, gain none at all. Now on to Connecticut. For the Senate, Chris Murphy, a liberal young Democrat running for his 2nd term, is running against Republican Matthew Corey, who ran for the House but didn't win, and he is a former Navy officer. Connecticut is quite blue, so as the polling averages show, this seat is safely Democratic. It hasn't gotten that much media attention. It was actually hard to find a picture of the Republican candidate, but anyways, safe Democratic seats. The Connecticut governor is a little more interesting. Ned Lamont, he was a candidate for Senate actually back in 2006 when Democrat Joe Lieberman switched parties and became an independent. And so Lamont ran against him. He did not win. Now he's running against Bob Stefanowski, also a owner of businesses who has never held political office before. And the polls show Lamont with a comfortable lead of 51 to 39%, with the remaining 10% undecided. And this race is a little closer. We rate it as likely Democrat because the incumbent Connecticut governor is not the most popular guy. There's been, issues with his governorship, but Connecticut is a Democratic state, and we expect it to go Democratic. Speaking of which, this is a pretty boring Connecticut House predictions. They're all held by Democrats. They're all safe Democrats. Democrats aren't losing, and that's a wrap. So, those are the 3 states that were covered today on our episode. Tune in next time for another exciting batch of states that we will be doing predictions on. So thanks for watching, and remember, don't forget to vote.